Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. Mishnah Yomi is continuing. We're beginning the second parak in Eiruvin with a similar theme to how we ended off the first parak of making enclosures in the open to allow access or carrying on Shabbat. So Mishnah Aleph, Osin Pasin Liberayot. We can make posts around the wells. Bear is like a bore, or bear is a well. And what would happen was a lot of pilgrims would be traveling on the roads to Yerushalayim to be Olei Regel, and they needed water for themselves and their animals, the karbanos they're bringing. So as this was a very important use, and the issue is if the well is 4 by 4 tefachim, 10 tefachim deep, that's a rishus yachid, and if it's located in the road or next to the road, that could be a rishus rabim or a carmelis at least. So you need to sort of enclose an area to make it a rishus yachid equivalent, so you could draw water out of the well and water yourself and your animals. And it's really important. There's actually in the Gemara, there's a story about Nechunya, the Chofer Borot. He was famous for digging wells for Olei Regel, and also Nakdimon ben Gurion, who famously borrowed 12 wells for the pilgrims for Yerushalayim, and then when it came time to pay back, there was no rain or no water to pay back, and he davened, and the rain came, and then the day was over, and it was too late, so then he went back and davened, and the sun came out again. It kind of rewound time, and he was able to return the water. Anyway, let's get back to the Mishnah. I've seen Paulson and Broy. We can make these posts around the wells to enclose them. We'll see this enclosure as gaps. Arba diomdin, nearing kishmona, 4 double posts which look like 8. That means these posts are not straight, but they are a right angle. So they're sort of, you'll see in the picture, some of these Mishnayot have pictures, that each of these corner posts is an L shape. So each post is a diomid, which is, I think dio is Greek for 2, and midi is like amida, is like standing, so these are standing double, they're L-shaped corner posts. Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, according to Rabbi Yehuda, you'll need those corner posts. Rabbi Meir, Shmona Nirin Kishnemasar, he says you need 8 posts. Arba diomdin arba pshutin, 4 corner posts that are L-shaped, and 4 pasha straight posts in the middle. So you'd have 4 corners, and then 4 middle of each side posts. And then Mishnah explains, according to both opinions, Gavon Asar Tefachim, they have to be 10 Tefachim tall, as we saw about the enclosures at the end of the first parak, Rachva and Shisha, and their width 6 Tefachim, the Ovian Kolshahu, but they could be a very flimsy, thin kind of board. I mean, as long as they stand up, but they didn't have to have any significant thickness. Ubenehem, and in between each board, Kilmalo Shtei Revakot Shel Shalosh Shlosh Bakar, would be the equivalent of 2 teams of oxen with 3 oxen each, Divrei Rebbe Meir. So how wide is that? The Gemara explains each ox is 1 2/3 cubits wide. Here you have 6 of them, so you have 10 amot of width. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Shel Arba. He says 4 oxen in each team times 2. So that would be a total of 13 1/3 amot wide. The Mishnah says these are kashurot l'matar. These are tied together as a team, not just freely wandering, so they're tighter. One team coming in, one going out. So we did see in the first parak that 10 amot wide might be too wide a space to enclose. We talked about the gap in the makeshift wall around the caravan camp out in the Bika in the valley. So the Mefarshim here in the Gemara say that maybe that's only a rule d'Rabbanan, and so since this was a very compelling need to have water, to have access to the wells for the Olei Regolim, that the rabbis relaxed their stringency. You can see the Mefarshim there for details. Mishnah Bet, Mutar lahakriv leber. You can make the corner posts and the enclosure as close to the well as you'd like. Para rosha v'ruba bifnim v'shota. As long as a cow can get inside this enclosure, these 4 posts or 8 posts, and most of the cow and its head is inside while it drinks water that you've drawn from the well into a bucket or whatever it is they have there. So the Gemara says that the cow needs 2 cubits for most of the cow and its head to get in there and drink. It's also interesting, by a sukkah, the smallest sukkah you can have is that someone can sit in the sukkah with Rosha Aruba and his shulchan. He has an itty-bitty table, and he has his head and most of his body in there, so he's not drawn out of the sukkah while he's eating. The Mishnah concludes, Mutter laharhi koshehu, you can place these four corner slats and these side slats at any distance, but you're going to have to increase the in-between slats, the ones that are along the corner, if you make it bigger, then according again to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, who disagree about exactly how wide it can be, you'd have to add posts the bigger you make it. Shkoyach, be well.